Gamers podcast.
Hi, welcome to the Gateway Gamers podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm RP.
and this is a podcast where a veteran like me introduces the world of gaming to a noob.
Like me.
Hello, and welcome to episode 4. Episode 4. Episode 4.
Yes, we are going from the black and white to the colorful. Gateway Gamers episode 4. What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up, guys? Who else
Guys,
is here?
I don't... The Munchkins. The Munchkins are everywhere.
Hello. What's up, bud? How are you?
I am excited. Very excited about this game. More so about the movie. But I'm doing well. Just saw, Thor: Love and Thunder recently.
Okay. How'd you compare to Wizard of Oz?
To Wizard of Oz. Well, they're both very colorful, somewhat heartfelt,
Okay.
and a good group of friends.
There we go. We did it.
I did it very easily. And I didn't even prepare for that.
Nope. No preparation.
There's probably a lot of comparisons because this is one of the first real classic family movies, right?
Okay.
I think. I don't know. This is one of those
It's
first...
probably the longest lasting movie for sure. That's
like
still
that,
like
I've
treasured.
never seen Gone with the Wind,
Oh,
but they
love
came
Gone
out
with the
the same year as this, which we'll get to that.
We'll talk about it on Monday.
On Monday. But yeah, I'm excited. This is my all-time favorite movie, hands down, and just excited for the opportunity to play a game based on the movie. How are you?
Good. I've never seen this movie, but I have.
I was-
your jaw dropped.
I was concerned. You're
I-
a grown man. This
No,
is
I do love this movie and its sequel. This creepy sequel from
I
Disney.
have not seen the sequel, so
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
Oh, it's horrifying.
I've seen Oz the Great and Powerful.
That's horrifying in a different way.
Yeah.
The Oz, Return to Oz by
That-
Disney is horrifying. Like,
Yeah,
as a child, I remember watching it as a kid. And then, like, I put it on recently for my wife, and she was like, turn this off. Like, not because she was, like, creeped out, but she's like, this is awful. Like, what is this?
Oz the
Oz the
Great
Great
and Powerful,
Powerful.
the prequel, that ended Sam Raimi's career until
Just about, yeah, until 9
Multiverse
years
of
later. Yeah.
Madness came out.
Yeah,
But
that was rough.
yeah, we'll talk about all that
Yeah.
on Monday. But I love The Wizard of Oz. I love there's been multiple reiterations of The Wizard of Oz on TV, film, you name it, whether it was with the Muppets or it was with a TV show with a darker twist. I attempt to watch all of it, but most of it's garbage because
Yeah.
this is a perfect film. I don't think it's a perfect adaptation. I think that they
They took a little bit from
I think they-
multiple books.
books and took some liberties with it, but this is the crux. These are the main characters from the original.
Yeah.
And just as the movie does, this game is going to tell the story as well. It's an adventure book game, The Wizard of Oz, the adventure book game by Ravensburger.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. I know you've had this in your collection for a while,
Yeah, I bought it.
and
like,
you played it.
immediately.
Yeah, you played it solo a couple times, which is interesting because you can solo this game.
Yeah, yeah. So I have played this game a few times, and it was one of the ones. I don't know if I've done this with another game where I've brought the game to the table.
Yeah, you're more versed. I haven't played this game yet, so I'm curious.
So this is my first go with a storybook game. I've never done this. I know they have one other with
Yeah,
Princess
this-
Bride.
This is the second in their collection of the Princess Bride's first one, which I also have not played, not for any particular reason, because it's another movie that I enjoy, Princess Bride. I think the concept of it is interesting. It just hasn't fallen into my lap, or it's not like a game where I'm like, "Ooh, I need that." It's just I don't know. Maybe playing this, I might jump back
Yeah.
to get the other one because I like the idea of it being like scenario book based. I think it's probably a great family game. I'd imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
This one is. It's a basically exact telling of the story. And I jumped at this when this came available.
I remember I
for
texted you.
pre-order because we even talked about Wizard of Oz before with Flux. There's a Wizard of Oz Flux, and I kind of popped. And I looked, and I was like, it was more based off the book, and I was like, okay. But then this was going to be a board game with great pieces. The art's fantastic. The color pops, and it seemed really, really cool. And it was a board game, not just a card game. So I immediately bought this, and I'm glad it's in my collection. The color of it sits beautifully on my shelf, and we'll save the game discussion till we get to
Okay.
that aspect of it. But
Give a rundown of it real quick.
yeah, go for it.
All right, Wizard of Oz adventure book game. As we said, is the second of the collection. The first one being Princess Bride. No announcement for another one, but I think it's something they should continue with because I think it's an interesting idea. Plays for 1 to 4 players. they say is 15 minutes per chapter with 6 chapters in the game. Designed by Ryan Miller and published by Ravensburger.
So I'll give you a little bit of back of the box.
Your turn. All right.
Yeah, I figured I'd give it a go.
Okay, yeah.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Follow the Yellow Brick Road with Dorothy and Toto, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. Can you work together to defeat the Wicked Witch of the West, find the great and wonderful Wizard of Oz, and make it back to Kansas? After all, there's no place like home. Components are 6 character miniatures, game book, 4 reference cards, 40 story cards, 20 special cards, 51 plot cards, 40 counters, and the rule book. Pretty simple. Is the Wizard of Oz all great and wonderful? He is not, but that's the game.
Say it's not as easy as I make it look, huh?
No, it's not. But are you ready to head down the Yellow Brick Road?
Yeah, absolutely.
And go play this game? All right, let's go.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We hear he is a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Ding
Down the witch is dead, wicked witch, down the wicked witch is dead. We beat the witch. What are your thoughts on this game?
I enjoyed it. I think it's, as I said, going to be a great family game. This isn't like a gamer's in-depth game. This is a great gateway game to play with kids, and that's what it is. And I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it because it fits the theme.
Yep.
So with Alien, Fate of Nostromo was basically this game, but doesn't fit the theme.
This is a better game than Alien.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, where Alien Nostromo is a quote-unquote family game
Yeah.
with a dark theme, this is a family
Family
game
game.
that fits the theme
Right.
of what you're doing.
Gotcha.
It's
yeah,
the
I
same
agree.
idea of just moving stuff around, but it works better.
It's fine. I do like this game. Am I glad I paid $30 for it? No, I'm not. This is one that I definitely could have waited. I didn't know what I was walking into. Now knowing what a storybook game is, 100% would have waited.
Okay.
But basically what this game is we just walk through the events of The Wizard of Oz. There are 6 chapters, and there's 4 challenges per chapter. And once you do that, you win. You go to the next one.
Yeah.
And the only really challenging one I thought was the last one, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I like the, again, aspect of chapters. I like that they are 15 minutes, and that's what they are. They're not any more, any really less, unless you're kind of lucky, but I like that. Like I said, this could be a kid's game that you're like, all right, Timmy, like, let's play chapter 1 tonight before bed, and then you could play all 6 as the week goes on, and that's where it's just like the replayability is just kind of not there.
Yeah, it's not. You can. It's a super easy game to teach. Everything you need is right there. There's not like in-depth reading either. There's like 5 things you do per turn, and you move. That's kind of it. So what you do is you start each turn. You start in your specific spot, and then you can move. You can move a single space, or you can move 2 spaces. So you have 2 things you can do. You can move yourself one, and then the other pieces around the board. For example, if you're in a chapter where Glinda is with you, like in chapter 2, you can move yourself. You can move Dorothy one, and then you can move Glinda one. Then you go to the storytelling aspect of it. So you have the cards in your hand, and you can do a number of different things. You can trade with a person. You can discard any number of cards you want to move that many number of spaces. You can complete one of the 4 challenges.
And the cards are just basic. It's just like courage.
There's 5 of them. There's the magic, wonder, courage, brains, and heart. And it's, again, thematic. It's all you got Oz, you have the Emerald City, and then Scarecrow, Lion, and Tin Man. And you play these cards to complete your challenges.
Yeah.
So to complete your challenges, for example, there's one where it's the song challenge. There's a song challenge on every single chapter. And for the first one, the song challenge over the rainbow. So you have to move Dorothy to the haystacks. And to complete this one, all you need is minimum of 1 of the Emerald City cards. However, you can play up to 4 of them. And with that, you would gain more with it. That's how the song challenges are very unique in that aspect. You can play with 1 or you can play with 4. Where, example, you complete the challenge with 3, you gain 1 Glinda the Good Witch favor. All the favors do is instead of losing the chapter, at the end you can play that and you reset the chapter, so you don't lose.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's just very thematic challenges. Like you have to go up to Professor Marvel, so you have to move all the way up to his house, and you play a couple cards. You play 1 Courage and 2 Emerald City,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. You have to do this, however, before the Twister gets to the house.
Yeah, I like the first scenario with the animals. Like there's animals, and it's just very basic.
Yeah,
They're moving along the board. You have to. It's the beginning of the movie where the storm's coming, so you're trying to get all the animals into their pens.
Now you may ask, how does the Twister move? How does the animals flip from happy to sad side? Well, there's these chapter cards that you flip at the end of your turn. After you draw 2 from the story deck, and then you draw the top card of the plot deck. That obviously moves the plot along. It'll tell you to flip the hog. If the hog is on the sad side, flip another animal.
Yep.
If they're all on the sad side, you lose. And when it tells you, say they're all on their sad side, and it tells you to flip one, then you lose.
Yep.
And the chapter's over, or if the Twister hits. So on and so forth. It changes each chapter you go to as you turn the book. Where, the second one, you're in Munchkin Land, and basically all you have to do is play
Like memory
kind of checkers, where you're moving them around to get, either it's the Lullaby League, the Lollipop Guild.
And that's why I think this game works, though, especially as a family game, is like I said, the cards are just iconography.
Yep.
There's no text that like a kid has to read. It's just like, all
perfect
right,
for
like
kids.
you need magic, which are purple. It's this purple symbol. It's like if you have 4 purple symbols, you could trade amongst each other, like whatever you need to do. And I like that it's not.
No reading. There's reading
not the only reading is like the event cards, as we said, which if
Or-
you're the parent, you're just kind of like, all right, like here's what happened, flip the pig. And I think this is a really good family game in that sense. That's not
challenging.
heavy.
It's
Not
challenging.
overwhelming.
No, this is very much a family, kids friendly game.
But it
There's-
works. Because we played family games before. I'm just like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
This one though, I think really works. Like I don't know what it is.
It works because it is the Wizard of Oz.
And
It's
it just
telling the
fits.
story
Yeah.
where I wasn't expecting to be blown away by this game. I was just expecting to enjoy this, and it's not boring. It's not stupid. You don't feel, we're older, so though it is for children, it's not a baby's game.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I
that's
had
what I
fun
mean.
playing this.
And that's what I mean. Why we enjoyed it versus these other family games,
Like,
because it's not just a roll and move.
yeah. That's
You
what I was thinking
are-
of. Like, what was the game we played?
Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise. Yeah.
It's not a roll and move. You move how you want to move to get the job done.
Yeah.
And the way that you move could alter the game, and flip the wrong card. For example, like the red smoke cards on the second one, if all 3 of them are flipped through the plot deck, you lose because the witch
comes
the
out.
witch
Yeah,
comes up.
it just works. I really enjoyed
It's not
this
simple.
game. Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. It's not.
But every
hard.
scenario is also very different.
Yeah, and I
but
like.
utilizes the same things. Like it's hard to
Exactly.
explain, but it
It's-
is really
it's-
well designed.
I think that's the perfect way to put
Yeah.
it. It is well designed. You can pick it up. You can go whichever way you want. There's for chapter 3, you're following the Yellow Brick Road, and this entire chapter is about you picking up Scarecrow,
Yep.
Tin Man, and Lion, and then eventually you go to the Emerald City, and then you have to beat the Wicked Witch, and then you have to get home
Yeah.
at the end, and you got to return everybody, and it's not easy.
No.
Like this one is the only one that we struggled with, because this was more of
It was timed. Yeah, it wasn't hard for the sake of being hard. It was just there was a timer with Glinda, right? Is that what
It's
her
the-
bubble or what was
no,
it?
it was the Hope Tracker. So
Yeah.
the cards, the plot deck, there's this thing at the top of the board. It's the Hope Tracker. You start on 5, and if it gets down to 0, you lose. And it moves via the cards on the plot deck. However, there's ways to counter that like any game you play. But it's very simple. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It has a unique feel in terms of it's not roll and move. It's the storybook, the presentation. The board itself is literally a book.
Is the book, yeah.
So that's kind of what you do. It's not overly challenging. There's the 6 chapters. Once you beat the 6 chapters, the game's over.
Yeah.
And if you lose the round, you really just start
Yeah,
over. It's not like
it's,
you go back to the beginning.
And because they're only 15-minute increments, you don't feel like you waste of your time.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh, okay.
And even with the simplicity of it all, the specialty cards, there's a little bit of reading, but all it really is you can make whatever card you need.
Yeah.
Like it's not challenging. It's, you have 5. You can't have more than, I think, 7 cards in your hand at all times. So you got to discard. But when you discard, you move.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I play. I think they tell you to do that in the beginning stages. And
I think
not
it
at the end.
changes later, but it's, I think it just,
Like, I don't have. There's really not that much to discuss, really.
I think there is.
Oh,
which
really?
is what surprises
So
me.
am I glossing over it kind of quickly?
I think.
Am I underselling it?
I think so, because the production.
Oh, yeah. We're just talking about gameplay.
Yeah.
Yes, the production, 100%.
Yeah, so the production of everything is fantastic. I think the miniatures are quality.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, I mean, again, not to compare it to Alien, but that's the closest vibe I have with this. The miniatures are fun. They're fantastic. They're bright. They're colorful. The board art is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The little tracker on the side that gives you your things to do is all pictures. You're, like you said, you're playing the story.
Oh, yeah.
The cards are quality.
Even
like,
the little chits too. They're all, there's quality to them. The art's great. The art is consistent across the entire thing from chapter to chapter.
This is a high quality kids game.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Family game. This isn't like Don't Wake Daddy, where it's just like chintzy pieces and it's $10. This is $30 because it's a $30 production. The box itself has Adventure Book 2. It looks good on the shelf.
Yeah, it's got a little glistening to like a gold.
Yeah, embossed. When you take the lid off, the side of the board is like a book. Like it's pages as if you were looking at the side of a book.
It's like a cardboard. If people have kids, it's like those thicker cardboard.
Yeah, the board book itself is really good.
I can't say enough about the art. We talk all the time about how we hate when people just use stills from the movie. They could have very easily done this, but this is very much the vibe of what Ravensburger does really well.
Yeah.
With all of their games was the art. The art's incredible.
Yeah,
It's
and
beautiful to look at.
They could have cheaped out with just standees, but they want the distance and made figures, and that's why I said this game. It just works. Like, it really worked for me. As simple as it was, as much as I'm not like a simple game player, I had fun playing this.
You know why I think it works for us too? It's incredibly thematic.
Oh, super thematic.
And that's
it's what we
love.
We love the art. We love the theme.
And it's telling the story of The Wizard of Oz. It's a very fun way if you have a kid that loves The Wizard of Oz. I don't know so much anymore, but growing up, kids loved this movie. This was very popular in my house. It was my cousin loved it.
I watched it plenty as well.
Which we'll get into when we talk about the movie. But this is something that I absolutely adore, and I adore the presentation. I don't necessarily adore the gameplay because, I don't know, I think I just look for more now.
Yeah.
But this is a very fun game.
But if your like nephew or niece were to be like, hey, like Uncle RP, like, do you have a game? This would be one you'd pull down.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like a kid would enjoy it too, because you can give them freedom, because it is a co-op where you're like, all right, like, here's your cards, and it's not.
They don't necessarily need us, the adults, to guide them.
You're the storyteller, but they can figure it out.
But yeah, I do like this game. It's a fun thematic game. The way I like to describe some of these games is that if you have people over and you're playing, this is a very easy discussion. You can have a discussion about anything that's going on and play. So it's good for parties, for per se. If you have people that just want to play a simple game, that happen to enjoy The Wizard of Oz, hey, let's take a little break from our heavier games. Let's play this. Because the presentation alone is fantastic.
And I'm curious about the other one now. I think the MSRP, I don't think the MSRP for what you're getting is too much, but for what the MSRP for what we're getting out of it is too much. If Oliver was older, then this would be a game that I would pick up and play with them. If I saw this or the other one on sale for like 15, like I would grab it. I'm not saying 30 isn't a great price point.
I'm just not thrilled I paid $30.
Because you don't have a kid. I think if this was a family game, I would rather pay 30 for this over 20 for some of the garbage kids games that are out there that are just like chintzy and just like, oh, like here's a booger, pull it out of this guy's nose. Like,
which is true. This is a game that my wife doesn't necessarily love. So we've played and she's kind of like, okay, like after like one chapter, she was like, okay, like, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm done. But I do think that there is a uniqueness to each chapter. While it tells the story, there's a unique level of completing the chapter. That's very unique. Like, it's not the same thing. It's not like, oh, okay, I got get 4 cards. It's always like 3 or 4 different cards.
Yeah.
There's the challenge itself is different, or the value of completing the song
and
challenge.
why you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's not just go here, do this. Like, there is a reason why you're doing it. And like we said with the one with the munchkins, like, you have to find all the munchkins and you got to move them around to where you need them. And the ones with yellow flowers go at the top. Like, it just made sense, and it was fun. Like, it just wasn't
and
like
extends the gameplay.
Yeah, it wasn't like go here, do this, go do it. Like Alien.
And then they've really just upped the ante on the last level. That's the one we had the challenge with. We beat 5. We did not beat 6.
Yeah,
We beat all the 5 chapters except for that one because we got to the end. We're like, okay, we get it.
We know what we're doing. I don't need the victory to be able to talk about it.
But
and it sour my play.
But you start off in the last one with going confront Oz, and you have to cover up certain spaces because it makes it easier. But
with the characters, but
I
Scarecrow has to go a certain spot. Like, it again, not complicated. It just we ran out of time.
We did, and what I enjoy a lot about this game too is the theme of it, where you can move if you're together, you can move them together, so you don't got to waste extra turns. Which is like they're following the Yellow Brick Road.
They're arm in arm, skipping along, yeah.
And I would love a more style game that we like to play for The Wizard of Oz, my favorite movie.
I don't know.
But I don't know how you do it because
Yeah.
it's a kids' family movie. Why would you?
Yeah, I don't know what they could have done differently.
But the interesting part is it's age 10 and up. And I feel like...
I think just because of reading. That's
I
it.
guess.
I think just because a kid couldn't play this by themselves if they didn't know how to read.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. That's the simplicity. It's a very simple game. It's a very thematic game, but it's fun.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I'm shocked and like just kind of really taken aback on how much I enjoyed this game for what it is. And I think, again, it's a high quality game that Ravensburger always does. And I think it's fun. It fits. The theme is great. It's not for me, for my collection.
Yeah.
Yet, down the road, if I see a second market, this is cheap, and my son likes Wizard of Oz, I'll give
it to you.
Yeah, I would love this game. Same thing with Princess Bride. Like, I think this probably is the same $30 price point. It's a movie I enjoy, but if it plays like this, then it's not for me. But it probably is the same quality stuff.
Yeah, this will probably be the last time this game comes out. But I am glad that I do own it to an extent as I grow my collection and as eventually have kids down the road.
Yeah, it's good to have these type of games around.
I love this movie. So
Yeah.
I love the art. The art is fantastic. Like, they could have even on the cover just put something simplistic, and it's not. And the pieces, there's so much detail in the pieces as well.
Yeah, it's a quality game. I'm curious what the next one would be.
Yeah, I'm sure
this
they'll
is
have
clearly a line that works. Like, if
Yeah.
it has to.
What
I
would
don't
you
know.
like to see in a storybook game? What would you like to see next?
I don't know. Like, it's just like Princess Bride, Wizard of Oz. Like, it would have to be another kids movie like that, and I can't think of one off the top of my head.
That doesn't have a game already.
Or that would kind of fit in this type. I'm always just going Gremlins. Just always Gremlins. I would love just anything.
Probably a Disney movie would fit this very well.
Yeah, if they could have the rights. I don't know. It's just I'm curious though what it could be. Rocky.
Yeah, you know
Rocky.
what? Rocky could work. But yeah, that's the Wizard of Oz adventure book game from Ravensburger.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. I'm dumbfounded, like how
It's
surprisingly
the quality. It could have been really
crappy,
and it's
for a
not.
kid's game. It really impressed me. I think it's a really good game.
Well, then I'm glad we played it.
I
I'm glad
am
I
too.
bought it.
I would have never gave this a second look.
And I really look forward to discussing the movie. It's my favorite movie.
Me too. I want to talk about that hanging munchkin.
So now it's time for Kick or Kickstart It.
First one I'm going to talk about is a game that we have grown to love. We haven't reviewed yet because we're kind of playing the different characters, Dice Throne. Mm-hmm. So Roxley Game and Dice Throne have announced a Kickstarter, possibly exclusive box. The wording is very vague on if it's going to be Kickstarter exclusive or it's going to come to retail. Mm-hmm. Santa Claus versus Krampus.
I know you told me about that because I am enjoying Dice Throne a lot. I was very surprised, but it's a fantastic idea because this is very much a game based in the fairy tale stories kind of thing. So this fits for a holiday layover.
Yeah, I'm curious because Dice Throne itself isn't goofy. And this is like a tad on the goofy side, which makes me think it might be just a Kickstarter, like kind of like, all right, like we did some goofy stuff for you. Dice Throne, if you don't know, it's just like a Yahtzee style battle game.
Essentially,
yeah,
yeah.
the story is these fighters from different, I don't even think it's universes, but
Realms.
just different realms
Yeah.
come and they battle to be the top fighter and
Each
sit on the
season.
throne. Like that's kind of it. There's like a monk, there's a treant, there's a paladin. Like it's just very different styles. The game is super fun. So Santa and Krampus don't fit the mold that they're going for, but I backed it already because it's
If
30,
you didn't, I would have.
yeah, and it's $35, which is the MSRP. I think the shipping's gonna be $10, so I'm paying slightly more, but I'm getting all the exclusive stuff with it.
If you're paying more, it better be an exclusive. Because if it's not, you'll probably get it on Amazon in a couple months, maybe next year.
Well, yeah, it's
So
I
you're
don't.
I mean, essentially, you're just paying for shipping.
Yeah,
at that
so,
point.
but I am getting like some exclusive stuff only
Okay.
with the Kickstarter.
Okay.
If I ever get the big game they have, Dice Quest, I think it's called, where like you take all these fighters and it's almost like a D&D style big
Okay.
campaign. I don't have it yet, but these cards could be used towards that. Some of the other things I could get are like metal dice, if I cared.
cool.
Sleeves.
No.
I know you're not a sleever. I think it's miniatures of the characters that again go toward the big
I did
D&D
see that.
style
That
game.
was cool.
And that's just I think that was $50 or $60 for that. And I'm just gonna base it because that's all I need. But then they have the option to get all of it for like $300, like all the past boxes and
Oh,
the
really?
giant box.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you don't have it, that's a cool option. I have most of it, so it's like,
Yeah.
I don't need all that. But I think it's a good idea. I normally kind of poo-poo these big companies who make games that go into retail. Like, I think after Marvel United, I was like, I'm kind of done
With the Kickstarter.
buying Kickstarter games that come to retail. And because I think it's just them, like, getting more money. This, I think, is them testing the water
For this type
of being
theme.
goofier and yeah, like kind of going because they do have the Marvel one, but even that kind of fits of like people battling,
Warriors,
yeah.
For sure.
Where this is just like a little goofier. So I'm thinking this might be like, all right, people are interested, we can get goofier. I think Santa's like basic. Krampus, if you don't know, I love Krampus.
My first introduction of Krampus was The Office.
Okay, Belschnickel.
Mm-hmm.
Krampus is just like the antithesis of Santa. He's a Germanic lore where if Santa like rewards you for being good, Krampus punishes you for being naughty. He like puts you in a sack and beats you with a thistle broom type deal. He's grown in popularity within the last couple years, especially. Like I feel like everyone loves Krampus.
There's a movie called Krampus.
Yeah, and
too.
it was decent. There's a book that I read every year called Krampus. It's just like a well done book that I just enjoy. I don't know. It's just I enjoy the lore of it. So I'm excited. Like I said, I already backed it. It said it's coming Christmas.
Yeah, they said you will have it by. the
Yeah,
holiday,
so it's not a big turnaround either. Like I don't have to wait a year. So yeah, I think it's a good Kickstarter that I'm excited for.
I thought it was super cool. It
Yeah.
fits their mold. It fits their art.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
and-
wait to play it.
And it's cheap. It's a
cheaper,
cheap
yeah.
price point. It's not no bells or whistles. Just is what it is.
I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, so I'm
glad
excited
you-
for that.
I'm glad you backed it.
On the other hand, Zero, which we've talked about before, we've covered the game, the basic game, and I think I mentioned before that they were coming out with a Kickstarter. Kickstarter's done, but I just kind of like forgot about it, but I wanted to bring it up to you. So Kickstarter has done a Ultimate Edition box set, so it's like metal pieces, thick, like almost ceramic tiles, bamboo rule sheet, a nice satin bag for all your
Nonsense.
pieces, and
It's nonsense.
yeah, if it's not your thing.
We already have the game. We already have the game. It's
But
there.
this is supposed to be, it's called an heirloom game. So if you love Zero, this is something you'd pass down to your kids.
Okay.
Because I guess the version I have will get so beat up by the time my grandchildren come around. But this edition,
Let me give you my prized
Treasure.
possession.
granted, it's beautiful. It's a nice, beautiful
Yeah.
box. The presentation's phenomenal. It was $350.
That's absurd. for a $25 game.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
I mean, you're getting
getting
a lot of
quality.
expensive stuff. However,
This is not the game.
that's absurd.
This
It's
is,
the simplest game.
and I think that's what makes it heirloomable. But also, in a million years, this isn't the game where I'm like, I need
I need the
I need a
chest.
special edition of like this. I know they made like an anniversary edition of Ticket to Ride, which had like actual like not Hot Wheel type miniature trains, but like higher quality trains. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was absurd. I think it was like $100 over like 60.
That's okay. That game's kind of pricier. It's like a $40
Yeah,
game.
but it was
so-
just like a slight
Sure.
upgrade where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like that's a cool addition. I think Catan made like a 3D edition where instead of like being flat, it was raised mountains, and that was like $400. Like I can't think of a game that I have where it's like there's certain games you could plus up and get like better quality components, but to pay that much, I think it's just like
dumb.
it's a different.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be blunt. It's
Yeah,
dumb.
it's just like a different mindset of like gaming that.
If you have the money, God bless you. But
But is that what you want to be spending on? Like a nice, like unless
if
you are
have
like,
we're
if-
also talking about. We were complaining about the Marvel Zombies for 500.
no, but you're getting a lot with
Yeah,
that. That's
you are. That's what I mean.
that's-
and then
yeah,
here's $350
quantity.
for a game that you can get at Target for $25,
Yeah.
where the game doesn't change at whatsoever.
which already has fantastic components. I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't
we
look
love
at
that game.
I didn't look at that game and be like, I wish this had metal dragons.
Exactly.
Like it just it had
it's dumb.
yeah. So
Do you
it's,
get better pieces instead of just little marbles?
Yeah, you get like miniature, like
Dragons.
golden like dragons. Like they're again
Okay, well,
beautiful looking,
I'm paying
amazing.
$300
high
for,
quality.
for these pieces at this point. Dumb. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm gonna be blunt. I
No,
think
that's
it's
fine
dumb
because we
for
talked
that.
about before.
If you would have
price.
told me 125, okay,
Mhm.
sure, paying $100.
Oh yeah,
more.
even I would have been like, I like Zero.
Yeah.
For that's all $350. I want get out of
Yeah,
here.
no way.
But it just makes me think of like, what game in my collection
Would you do that for?
would I want like an heirloom copy of? And I couldn't think of any. Like there were certain games where I'm like, I can up the components a bit, make them nicer, but not like
I love Villainous.
yeah.
I think Villainous is perfect the way it is.
Yeah, but instead of like the cardboard chits, like you would just maybe get like actual coins or something. But that's it. Like nothing
Yeah.
crazy. You
I
do
like
it,
the
you can
design
put pennies in there.
because like I like the design of the pieces of the characters. Like I like their weird design. I
Mm-hmm.
like that they're not colored. They're all transparent. The card style. I mean, unless you're giving me, I don't even know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you could do because
like,
again, the components in that are great.
like a digital board where the pieces, where the things are there, but as you move, you can tap on what
Stuff's
you do
happening.
or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
and it's even with the other one, with the dice throwing one where it's like metal dice. It's like, what are you like? It's weird stuff like that where I'm just like, do I want metal dice clanging around on my table? Like even if I have like a nice dice box, it's like, like I don't,
You're gonna bang them up there.
yeah, it's just odd. Like it's such a weird world, and I'm not poo pooing anyone because
Sure,
everyone has
their own
their
thing.
thing. But it's just like board game is so interesting where I saw this and I'm like, man, like I love Zero. And even with disposable income, I don't think I would buy
No,
this for $3. And it was successful. Like I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was
of course,
successful.
it's a
Like
very popular game. I'm not shocked.
mhm.
That's just dumb. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
We've had multiple discussions in the board game realm about
price
point.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
just absurd.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So-
I'm not saying it's not absurd, but whatever floats your boat. If you want to buy a $350 plus, I don't even know. Again, the shipping is probably absurd.
I paid $145 for a dice throne that's coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and I got promo cards with that. And even that, I felt uncomfortable
Yeah.
about. But I was getting a lot. But I felt so
You actually
uncomfortable.
saved money though at the end.
Yeah.
Because buying it through that saved you what, like $40 retail? It would have been. I think it said something like that.
Yeah, because like the packs together are like 25
Yeah.
or $30, and this thing together was 110.
Yeah.
So I got I got 4 boxes. I might not have. I don't know.
No, I think it said you saved.
Well, they weren't coming to retail yet. The only one out.
But the
was-
chest, you got like it all in one big.
Oh yes, I did.
And they said if you bought them individually, it would
Maybe-
have cost you more. So I think in the end you saved money. It
which
said
is
it
fine.
there. But
I like the
that's-
chest. I like the chest.
Yeah,
So
but that's Dice Throne doing
Yep.
a great
Yeah.
a great Kickstarter again.
Absolutely. Well, I think that does it for us here, right?
Yeah, that does it for me for sure. I can't get. This is gonna be crazy to say, but I kind of want to finish that scenario.
Really?
And it's the first time that after we've done a recording where I'm like, I want to go back immediately, and I kind of do because I think I could figure it out,
You probably could.
and like I want to. Like again, a great stamp of this game is after we lost. You were like, let's go record, but I immediately would be like, can we just try again? Because it's 15 minutes, so we can
Yeah.
go knock it out
Yeah.
and be fine with it. So I
How
think,
about that?
yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
That
All right.
about wraps up this week. We'll be talking about the movie with just as much fervor coming up because you love this movie, and I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm curious to watch it again. But I know I enjoy it, like I do.
It's a
It's
great
pure
movie.
nostalgia, and
Yeah,
it's a quality movie.
Fantastic movie. All right, I think that does it for us here. Remember to rate, like, and subscribe. Follow us on the Instagrams at Gateway Gamers Pod. We got a bunch of great stuff. We'll be posting this game and T Public Store as always. And like I said, if you like what we're doing here, let us know. Either reach out to us, DM us, or leave us a 5-star review with what your thoughts on the game and
Four stars are good too.
Four. Yep. You
Four
know what?
stars look realistic. So we can-
4 stars is also fine. If you have a gripe, even 3, put that there. Whatever. But
Yeah.
we want to hear back from you. We want you to be realistic, and we want you to be kind and subscribe.
Absolutely.
So that does it for us here, Gateway Gamers, a Blockbuster Summer. See you on the other side of the rainbow.
Don't throw that water at me. Melting.
What a world!
What a world.
Bye.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, in the dreams that you dreamed of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. In the dreams that you dreamed of, dreams really do come true.
Follow the yellow brick road.
All right, well, that's the end credits.
Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, yeah, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. You're somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. In the dreams that you dare to, why, oh, why can't I? Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, yeah, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. You're somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, in the dreams that you dare to. Why, oh, why can't I?